The rain hasn't stopped for hours. It drums on the roof of my old Civic, streaking the windshield and blurring the shape of the house in front of me. My new house. My only house. The siding sags in gray strips, half the porch is caved in, and the front window is patched with what looks like cardboard and duct tape. I spent my last $1,200 buying this wreck, and now I just sit here in the driver's seat, hands shaking, engine off, keys still in the ignition, watching the world I used to know recede behind me. I scroll through my phone, half expecting some kind of message, a stray apology, a text from Mom. Maybe even Kyle, trying to explain. There's nothing. I swipe to my notifications. 17 missed calls, all from family, but I know none of them are for reconciliation. They're just echoes from before I said no. It started a week ago, at my parents' kitchen table. Kyle was there, already posing for the camera on his phone, narrating his wellness journey to his followers. I'd spent months saving every dollar, eating instant noodles, working overtime, thinking maybe this was the year I could finally move out, get some space. Then my mom made her pitch. Kyle needs support, Marcus. His retreat is only $15,000. We're all chipping in. You're the only one left. It was like she didn't hear the part about my savings. You want me to give everything I have so Kyle can sit in the woods and post videos of himself meditating? I asked. The silence in that kitchen was suffocating. Dad looked away. My aunt shifted uncomfortably. Only Kyle met my eyes, and he looked amused. The next morning, I got the screenshot. My cousin, younger than me but always sharper, sent it with a single word. Sorry. The family group chat, where my childhood lived, photos, jokes, even those dumb memes Mom loved, was gone. I'd been kicked out. My name was gone from every thread. I scrolled up, saw the comments. He always was selfish. No family loyalty. Kyle gives back, Marcus only takes. I'm 32 years old, and somehow, with one refusal, I've lost the only family I ever had. I can't tell if I'm angry or just numb. The rain blurs everything. The house, my hands, even my thoughts. What am I supposed to do now? I can't go back. There's nowhere to go but inside. The car door sticks before it opens. I step out into the mud, shoulder aching from tension, and walk up to the front porch. I dig the heavy key from my pocket and turn it in the lock. The house smells like old carpet and broken promises. There's a silence here that's almost peaceful once I let myself feel it. I don't have much, just a mattress, a duffel bag, and a mug for coffee, but I put them down in the middle of the living room. I sit cross-legged on the floor, listening to the storm, and finally let myself grieve. For my family. For the version of me they never saw. For the illusion that's gone now, replaced by something ugly, maybe honest. Tonight, the only thing I know for sure is that I'm alone. This ruin is all I have. I could run, call, beg for forgiveness. But for the first time, I don't want to. I want to see what I become, starting from nothing. I want to see if there's anything left of me, once the wreckage is cleared. Sometimes I wonder if my family ever noticed how easy it was to overlook me. Maybe it started small, my name missing from a school awards program, Kyle getting the biggest slice of cake. I always told myself it didn't matter. These were minor, harmless things. But as I sit in this collapsing living room, the cold of the floor creeping through my jeans, every slight feels sharpened, replaying in loops behind my eyes. Kyle was always the golden child. My earliest memory of a birthday. I'm 6, and Mom's carrying in a cake, smiling wide. Happy birthday, Mark, she says, holding it out to me. I'm Marcus. It's written wrong in blue icing, too. Kyle's name is on 3 balloons, even though it's not his day. I try to make a wish anyway. High school brought scholarships, certificates, hours spent at the library instead of parties. I thought maybe if I brought home a medal or a grant, things would change. My acceptance letter came first, full ride, computer science. The letter sat unopened on the kitchen counter for 2 days before Dad slid it under a stack of bills. Don't brag, Marcus, he said when I tried to show him. Kyle's got additions this week. Kyle failed out of 3 classes that semester. At dinner, they clapped for his bravery and posted about his creative journey. That's how it always was. Kyle got a D. They called it artistic temperament. I got an A. It was expected. He'd skip family chores, but I was the lazy one if I protested. Every family photo, he's in the center, arms slung over my shoulder, grinning for the lens. I'm blurred at the edge. I tried to believe it was just bad luck, that if I kept my head down, it would balance out. But the truth is, I started shrinking. I stopped trying to compete. By my 20s, I was just background noise in every family gathering, helping with dishes, cleaning up after parties, driving Kyle home when he was too drunk to remember my name. They didn't see me. Not really. Not unless they needed something. The day I landed my first real job, I called home. Mom picked up, distracted. "That's nice, honey. But can you send Kyle some money? He's having a tough time." I told her no, and she sighed like I'd failed her. So when they all lined up for this wellness retreat, the latest in a line of expensive cures for Kyle's latest existential crisis, I knew it would come down to me. Family means sacrifice, Marcus, my mother said, as if I hadn't been sacrificing my whole life. But sitting here, in this rotten house, it finally hits me. They never wanted my happiness. They wanted my silence, my labor, my compliance. Kyle was the project. I was the background. The day I said no, I stopped being useful, and they erased me like a bad memory. And yet, for the first time in years, there's a flicker of something else, anger, maybe, or clarity. If they can let go of me so easily, maybe it's time I do the same. Maybe I can build something out of the space they left behind. I wake to pale morning light spilling through a cracked window, dust floating in the beams like ghosts. My body aches from sleeping on the floor, but for once the silence isn't heavy, it's just empty, waiting for something new. I pull on a sweatshirt, thinking about the day ahead, half dreading the loneliness I know is waiting. A knock at the front door startles me. No one should know I'm here, except maybe the real estate agent, and I've already got the keys. I peer through the glass and see a familiar face, grinning beneath a battered baseball cap. Trevor, my old college roommate, the only person who ever truly listened when I talked about my family. He's holding a stack of pizza boxes in one hand and a six-pack of cheap beer in the other. "I tracked you down," he says, shrugging like it's nothing. "Figured you could use some carbs and moral support." He kicks his shoes off in the doorway and looks around, whistling at the state of the place. "It's got character," he jokes, but his eyes are kind. We eat pizza sitting on overturned milk crates, laughing about how our lives have turned out. For a few hours, I forget about the family group chat, the retreat, even Kyle. I just feel seen. While we're sorting through junk in the back room, my phone buzzes. An unknown number flashes on the screen. I almost ignore it, but curiosity wins. On the other end is Aunt Karen, a voice I haven't heard in years. She was exiled from the family long before me, banished for calling out Dad's loan schemes and refusing to back down. "Marcus, I heard what happened," she says, her tone soft but urgent. "I want you to know, being on the outside gets easier. They'll come back eventually, but not because they miss you, only when they need you again." She tells me about the years she spent rebuilding her own life. About the freedom, the real friends, the hard-won confidence that came with distance. After we hang up, Trevor looks at me. "She's right, you've got a chance now. Don't let them use you up again." That night, we drag my mattress into the main bedroom and start making plans. Trevor volunteers to help me gut the rotten kitchen. He maps out a timeline, paint, patching the roof, redoing the floors. He even promises to teach me how to use a power drill. We toast with warm beer to new beginnings and laugh until I forget, for a little while, how much it all hurts. Aunt Karen calls again the next day, just to check in. She sends photos of her own tiny house, the garden she built with her own hands. "You get to decide who your family is now," she tells me. "Don't waste that chance." As the days pass, Trevor comes by after work with tools and jokes. We tear down old paneling, haul bags of debris to the curb, and scrape years of grime off forgotten windows. With every nail I hammer, every board I pull free, something inside me shifts. The house still looks terrible, but it's ours, mine and Trevor's and Karen's, in some weird, makeshift way. For the first time, I feel a flicker of hope. Not just that I'll survive, but that I might actually build something worth keeping, starting with myself. By week 3, the house is still a disaster, but the mess is starting to make sense. Each room has a plan, scribbled in marker on the wall. The kitchen smells like fresh paint and burnt toast. My hands are stained with primer, and my arms ache from ripping up warped floorboards. But the ache is honest. It's progress I can see. Most mornings, Trevor swings by with coffee before work. We argue about which shade of blue to paint the doors, then laugh at how little it matters. Sometimes Aunt Karen calls just to ask about the garden or send a picture of her dog. There's a rhythm forming, slow but steady, almost like a real life. I start to believe I can actually do this, make this ruin into a home. That's when Kyle shows up. I'm outside, kneeling in the dirt, prying weeds from the tangled front yard. A car pulls up, a leased BMW, music thumping even with the windows up. I don't recognize it at first, but then he steps out, all sunglasses and swagger. I stand up, brush the dirt from my hands, heart thudding for reasons I can't explain. He waves like nothing's happened. Heard you got a fixer-upper, little bro. Thought I'd check in on you. You know, see if you're surviving without us. There's an edge to his voice I don't like. He looks around, taking in the peeling siding, the torn-up porch, and grins wider. Man, you really needed that wellness retreat more than I did. I want to tell him to leave, but the words stick. All those years of defaulting to yes, of swallowing my pride for peace. I nod, force a smile. Yeah, well, some of us actually do the work. He laughs, claps me on the back. Listen, it's been rough. I'm between apartments right now. Just one night on your couch, Marcus. For old time's sake. His eyes are big, pleading, practiced. Part of me wants to slam the door, but another part remembers Aunt Karen's warning, they always come back, but never for the right reasons. I hesitate too long. He's already halfway to the porch, bag slung over his shoulder. I'll stay out of your hair, promise. Just need to regroup. Inside, he sprawls on the mattress like he owns the place. He offers to help with renovations but spends the afternoon on his phone, posting selfies in front of my half-painted walls, asking his followers if he should rescue his sad sack brother. Trevor drops by with supplies and eyes Kyle warily. You good? He mouths to me. I just shrug, trying to pretend this is normal. But my skin crawls with dread. That night, as Kyle snores on my only bed, I lie awake on the cold floor, replaying every moment that led to this, every apology, every time I said yes when I wanted to say no. But this time, I promise myself, will be different. One night. That's it. I wish I believed it. I wake to the sound of voices echoing down the hallway, too loud and too cheerful for this broken house at sunrise. At first, I think Kyle's on the phone again, but then I hear my own name, followed by a chorus of laughing emojis and sympathetic comments. My stomach knots. I walk to the kitchen and stop in the doorway. Kyle is standing by the sink, ring light perched on the counter, phone angled to catch the dingiest corner of the room. He's live streaming. The screen on his phone shows hundreds of viewers and a stream of comments scrolling faster than I can read. My face fills the frame as I walk in, and Kyle turns the camera for effect. There he is. The man himself, Kyle says, adopting the voice he uses for his followers, warm, performative, false. Guys, this is my brother Marcus. He's hit some hard times, but we're gonna turn it around, aren't we, bro? I freeze, trapped between embarrassment and anger. He never asked if he could do this. I try to step out of frame, but he follows me, narrating my every movement. Marcus has always been too proud to ask for help, but I believe in second chances. If you want to support his journey, check out the link in my bio. There's a GoFundMe page on his phone. My name. My face. Photos I never shared, me looking exhausted, covered in drywall dust, taken without my knowledge. The headline reads, Help my brother heal. I scroll through the description, a story spun from half-truths and flat-out lies about addiction, bankruptcy, mental health struggles. I feel the blood drain from my face. Kyle is making a spectacle of my pain for donations, for clout, for his brand. In the chat, someone comments, hope he gets the help he needs. Others tag friends, ask for updates. Money is already rolling in hundreds, then thousands in minutes. I want to scream. I want to break his phone and throw him out, but I just stand there, shaking. Kyle wraps an arm around me, smiling wide for his audience. We're gonna get through this as a family, right, Marcus? That's when something inside me snaps. I yank the phone from his hand and end the stream, my own voice trembling. Get out. Now. You can't use me anymore. He tries to talk, sputtering apologies, but I shove his things at him and push him toward the door. If you post one more thing about me, I'll get a lawyer, I warn, meaning every word. After he's gone, the house feels empty, but not in a way that hurts. It's a relief. I call Trevor, choking back tears, and he shows up in minutes. We'll fight this, he promises. We gather in the living room with Aunt Karen on speakerphone, plotting how to shut down the GoFundMe, collect evidence, and expose Kyle for the fraud he is. For the first time, I'm not backing down. Not anymore. 2 weeks later, the house is quieter, but the fight is just beginning. Trevor and I spend nights drafting emails, gathering screenshots, and calling anyone who will listen, lawyers, GoFundMe support, local reporters. Aunt Karen is tireless, combing through public records and old family group chats for anything that can help. Every day brings a new wave of rage and humiliation as I watch the fundraiser tick higher, my own image reshared, my struggle turned into content for people who will never know me. But then an email arrives, an invitation to Kyle's charity gala for healing. The event is everywhere, social media, local news, even a spot on the morning radio. It's all about mental health awareness and transforming broken lives, with Kyle as the glossy poster boy. They're selling tickets, booking sponsors, and name-dropping me as their miracle in progress. I'm sick just thinking about it. But Karen's voice cuts through my anger. This is how you end it, she says. You let them tell their lies in public, and then you bring the truth. The night of the gala, I stand outside the event hall, nerves fraying. I almost turn around, but Trevor is beside me, solid and steady. Karen meets us at the door, dressed in the same suit she wore to my high school graduation, the only time anyone ever clapped for me, she jokes. Inside, the room sparkles with lights and rented glamour. Guests laugh and drink champagne, while Kyle glides from table to table, collecting hugs and donations, never missing a photo op. I feel invisible and exposed at the same time. When Kyle takes the stage, I nearly leave. But then the giant screens flicker on, and there's my face, photos from the house, clips Kyle stole, his voice narrating over images of my pain. We're here tonight because no one deserves to struggle alone, he says, voice trembling for effect. My brother is proof that love can save even the most broken. Karen squeezes my hand. And then she's walking straight to the stage, ignoring the startled gasps and security guards. She grabs the mic. Her voice is clear, ringing out across the stunned crowd. This charity is built on lies, she says. Kyle stole my nephew's story. He used his pain to make money and build a brand. I have proof, messages, screenshots, even the GoFundMe details. Ask yourselves, where's the money actually going? A hush falls. Guests look at Kyle, waiting for an answer. He stammers, red-faced. The MC tries to cut her off, but Karen barrels on, reading aloud the messages where Kyle laughs about milking the sympathy train. She throws the evidence on the big screen, emails, texts, financial transfers. It's irrefutable. The room erupts. Reporters rush the stage. Sponsors demand explanations. Kyle stands frozen, the mask finally slipping. For once, I don't need to speak. The truth is louder than anything I could say. I slip out the back with Trevor and Karen. For the first time in my life, I feel something close to justice. The days after the gala feel unreal. My phone explodes with messages, some apologizing, some begging for interviews, some just looking for drama. I ignore them all. Kyle's accounts are suspended within 48 hours. The GoFundMe is frozen, then refunded. News articles pile up. Influencer exposed for charity fraud. Family scandal rocks local gala. For the first time in years, my story is being told, but not by me. And for once, that's enough. Word spreads through town fast. Strangers knock on my door, not to gawk or ask for a selfie, but to drop off tools, groceries, even a casserole or two. A neighbor I've never met brings her son over and asks if he can help paint the fence for school credit. Another organizes a proper fundraiser to help finish repairs, this time with my consent. It's messy and awkward, but it feels real. One afternoon, while clearing out the last of the attic junk, I stumble across an old, dust-choked envelope wedged behind a support beam. Inside is a deed, handwritten, yellowed with age, signed by my grandfather. It's a transfer of ownership, dated decades ago, leaving the house and the land to whichever grandchild stands alone and stays. There's a note with it, barely legible. Family is what you build, not what you're born with. If you're reading this, you earned it. I sit on the attic floor, sunlight spilling through the rafters, the paper trembling in my hands. It feels like a blessing and a challenge at the same time, a promise that I'm not starting from nothing, that maybe I was meant to be the one to start fresh. I call Aunt Karen and Trevor, and we celebrate with pizza and cheap wine on the half-rebuilt porch. We talk about everything and nothing, about hurt and healing, about what it means to finally belong. Karen laughs when I tell her about the deed. He always knew you were the strong one, she says. In the weeks that follow, I keep building not just the house, but a new life. I launch a nonprofit for people starting over, using what little I have to help others escape their own toxic ties. The house becomes a gathering place for misfits and outcasts, a living testament to the idea that family can be chosen, not assigned. I never hear from my parents again. Kyle tries to apologize, but I don't answer. I don't need anything from them now. Everything I need is here, in the walls I rebuilt, in the friends who showed up when no one else did, in the version of myself I finally learned to see. On the day I hammer the last nail into the porch rail, the sky is clear for the first time in months. I sit on the steps and breathe in the silence, not empty this time, but full of promise.